y'all, what's up? It's Victoria and I'm here for It Sold for What? That's right, it is my monthly recap of what sold for $40 and over for me on all the platforms that I sell on online. I'm trying to always look for those items that are going to sell for a higher price point. My average sale price for the month of February 2022 was $54.62, so I was right on par for my goals. So I also want to share with you what is selling for me for those higher price points, so maybe it'll help you in your hunting for items to flip online. So if you're interested, then stick around and we'll get into those sales. So February was a really strange month for me. I only had a couple of sales on Mercari. I had no sales on Etsy. eBay was almost completely dead. And Poshmark threw us for a loop when they changed their search feature. So it was a really, really weird month, but I still made my sales goal, which is really important. And I'll get more into the Poshmark change when we get to Poshmark Sales. But if you're new to my channel, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to increase my average sale price, my ASP, to $40 and above. I've been hovering somewhere between $52 and $54 for the last 6 months or so. And so I want to stay on course with that. So when I'm on the hunt, I am picking up items that sell for a little bit more. That is not to say that I don't have lower sales. I certainly do sell items for lower price points, and it does not hurt my feelings when that happens. Some sellers are volume sellers and sell items for less profit, but sell more at a time, and that's okay too. So just putting that out there. But if you're trying to find items that do sell for the higher price point, I'm going to share with you what's selling for me. I only had one Mercari sale in February, and it was not for over $40. So I'm not really going to talk about it too much, except to say that Mercari was just dead in February for me. eBay was also slow in February. They made some changes to the configurations on their website. I think that threw a lot of sellers off as far as sales. So I did make tons of sales on eBay, but I did make some over $40. So I want to share those with you. The first is this Vince sweater. It was a black and metallic striped sweater. I picked it up on my epic road trip last summer when I was in Richmond, Virginia. It sold for $70.15 on eBay. My cost of goods were right around $7. And after eBay fees and shipping, my profit on this Vince sweater was $50.66. So I certainly would still pick up Vince sweaters. They seem to still be doing really well for me. Of course, we're moving a little bit out of sweater season now, but I pick up items all year round. If you find something for a good deal at a thrift store, I recommend picking it up no matter what time of year it is. The next were a pair of Anthropologie Cartanier pants. They had that sailor look with the buttons in the front and the patch pockets in the back. They were a little bit of an older Anthropologie style, but with this sub-brand of Anthropologie, you can still find some good pieces that'll sell for you over $40. These sold for $50.15 for me on eBay, and I paid $7 for them. After fees and shipping, I made $27.80 on these pants. So if you find this sub-brand of Anthropologie, just look up the style and see what the comps are, because it may be worth picking up. This next item I sold was a vintage 1970s wood bead purse. It was given to me to resell, so my cost of goods on this were $0. It sold for $42.61 on eBay, and after all the deductions, fees, and shipping, I made $25.66 on this bag. I do like to sell vintage, and you'll see more vintage in this video, so stay tuned if you're looking to get into vintage, because you might see some things that you see out in the thrift store, and it might prompt you to pick it up. Next up is my token ModCloth sale. You guys know I love selling ModCloth. So this was a novelty print skirt. It was a little A-line skater skirt, and it had little swimmers all over it. This took a long time to sell, and The novelty skirts with ModCloth can be hit or miss. Some of them will sell super fast and for a high price point, and some of them will sit for a very long time and take the right buyer. This one sold for $44.50, and my cost of goods on this were $12 because I bought it liquidation from a liquidation company here in Mississippi, and so I pay up because they're brand new with tags. After fees and shipping, I made $22.60 on this skirt, so still happy with that sale. And last eBay sale I'm going to share with you over $40 was this cabbie sweater. I am a lot more picky with cabbie nowadays, but this was a camo print sweater and it was in a red camo, really cool. So it was kind of like subdued, like you weren't sure it was camo until you like stared at it a little bit, but it sold for $43.45. I had paid $2.48 for it at the thrift store. And after fees from eBay and shipping, I made $30.67. So those are my eBay sales, over $40. Let's talk Poshmark. So I know that Poshmark had the big debacle where they changed the search feature. I actually had caught it early because I was looking up comps on Poshmark, and I generally will search for the name of a dress before I do comp searches if I can find it. So I was searching for some Bowden dresses because I had got a bunch of them from the thrift store. And so I was using the actual name of the dress, where normally if I search Bowden and the name of the dress, like Kate, and then dress, I'm going to only get that dress in the search results for sold items on Poshmark. Well, I was doing that and all these weird things were coming up. Some were Bowden, some weren't even dresses that were Bowden, and some were some weird miscellaneous items that had nothing to do with it. Maybe they only had the word Kate, so it was a Kate Spade shoe or a Kate Spade bag, but it was really strange. And so I was like, First I thought they were probably beta testing something, which Poshmark has done, which I don't know that I really like the fact that they beta test on us. Normally they will have a group of users on a software or platform that they will have volunteer to test, or they will tell them they're being pulled to beta test something. But in this case, we were all pulled to beta test, I guess. So a couple days go by and nothing changes. It is still in this weird search results. And I noticed that a lot of resellers were getting up in arms on Instagram, which is totally valid because we started to see our sales drop. So we knew that this testing or whatever they were doing with the search was now affecting how customers were able to retrieve search results. A lot of sellers tried to start doing some troubleshooting, figuring out what the methodology was. Some people were like, well, we've got to figure something out. And so they started mass messaging some of their customer base, people who had purchased from them before. They came up with some strategy, which became very time consuming because you're having to put in extra effort because the search is not working the way it's supposed to. So I made an executive decision, because my time is money, that I was going to instead take a little break and focus on some other things. My business pretty much ran itself for the most part last summer, and I reached some of my highest sales goals, and I wasn't even working 0% of the time. And so I decided to let it roll, to not stress about it, to take a little break and focus on some things at home with my children, with my husband, and with my house. And so that's what I did, instead of trying to navigate what was going to happen. Now, luckily, Poshmark did roll that back. We saw sales start to pick up almost immediately, and hopefully they'll be a little smarter about how they roll it out next time, both with letting us know that it's happening, but also doing some beta testing behind the scenes, because I'm sure a lot of sellers would be open to that. So in saying that, like I said, my average sale price was still $54.62 in February, but I also had some very large sales that helped with that. So I'm very thankful that my February did not suffer because of Poshmark's little snafu, and I hope yours didn't suffer too much either. So let's get into some of those higher price sales. The first is a vintage item. It is a Woolwich heavy duty Southwestern print jacket. I actually bought this in Panama City Beach, Florida, of all places, to pick up a vintage wool jacket, but it sold for $125 on Poshmark. My cost of goods on it were $7.35, and Poshmark took $25 in fees, so I made $92.65 on that vintage jacket. And I knew as soon as I saw it, it was going to be a winner. Next item to sell were these Madewell skinny black wash jeans. I don't pick up the skinny style too much anymore. It's a slower sale, but these did sell for $50 for me. My cost of goods were $6.89 from a thrift store, and after Poshmark fees of $10, I made $33.11. Like I said, I still like picking up Madewell, but the skinny style is not as popular as it was, so I tend to pass on those now. All right, y'all saw me pick up the big haul of Bowden dresses. If you didn't see that video, you can go back and watch it on this channel. But I scored a whole bunch of Bowden dresses thanks to my girl Alicia at Murray Life, who tipped me off that someone had donated their whole collection of Bowden, and I went and grabbed them. I sold 2 of this style called the Marisol dress. And basically, when I sell a bundle on Poshmark, I divide it up by piece, break down the cost of goods, divide up the Poshmark fees, and if there's a shipping discount, I'll divide that between the items. So both of these dresses sold for $45.50. Both of them had a cost of goods of $6.50 each. Their fees broken in half was $9.10 each. And so I made $29.90 on each of these dresses. I picked up this next item when my girls, Jessie from Gorgeous and Bob from Bob Buys, came down to Mississippi to hang out with me and Alicia. This was a Vava by Joy Han. It was sold at Revolve. I don't know that they sell it anymore, but it was a really pretty embroidered jumpsuit. It sold for $52, and my cost of goods were $6.64 in New Orleans at a thrift store. After fees and a shipping discount, I made $33.46 on this jumpsuit. Another Bowden dress from that lot of Bowden dresses I picked up was this dress. It's called the Lottie dress. I sold it for $44, and of course I picked it up at the thrift store. My cost of goods were $6.50, and after fees and a shipping discount, I made $27.20 on this dress. Okay, highest sale that I've ever had selling online was this Balenciaga tote bag. It was white leather, beautiful. I got it in a thread-up designer box. I was really scared it wasn't going to be authentic, but it was. I did pay up to have it authenticated, so that I think helped me sell it, because when I first listed it on Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay, both Mercari and eBay rejected it as not authentic. So I went ahead and had it authenticated, and then Mercari made a deal with the authentication company that I used, and so they sent me an email and they rescinded the fact that they had said it wasn't authentic, and they allowed me to relist it, but it did go ahead and sell on Poshmark. It sold for $500. My cost of goods on it were $17.14 from ThredUp. Fees for Poshmark were $100, and so I made $382.86 on this tote bag, and the buyer loved it. If you're interested in finding out the process of getting an item authenticated and how Poshmark authentication works, then let me know, and I'd be happy to make a video on it and share with you my experience. Next, over $40 sale were these Tory Burch Miller sandals. They were gold. They were in a tiny size, 5.5. I picked them up at a new thrift store opening here in Biloxi. They sold for $60. I had paid $7. And after Poshmark fees, I made $41 on these Tory Burch sandals. Next item I also picked up in New Orleans thrifting, and they were some Sorel boots. You don't find Sorel here in the deep south very often, so I was very surprised. Not surprising is they were not very used. They probably were bought for a vacation, used once and never worn again, because it just does not get cold here. So I sold them for $105. My cost of goods were $8.04. And after fees and a shipping discount, I made $74.46 on these boots. Next up was a bundle of some sandals. The first pair were Vince Camuto. They did not sell for over $40. They sold for $36. But my cost of goods on those were $0. So I still made a nice profit on those of $22.50. But I also sold these UGG slides. I got them in a thread-up shoebox. They sold for $45. Cost of goods were $6.67 on those. And after fees, I made $30.83 on the UGG sandals. Not really surprising. Okay, next over $40 sales, another ModCloth piece. You guys have probably seen this dress in my other What Sold videos. I bought a whole bunch of them in different colors. This is a Chi Chi London dress, which is a sub-brand that ModCloth carries, and it's a teal lace dress. It sold for $80. I had paid $6. $1.98 at the liquidation store for it. It was new with tags. And after Poshmark fees, I made $57.02 on this dress. I'm still a big advocate of ModCloth, love selling ModCloth, and I've had really good luck with almost every piece I've ever sold of ModCloth. This is another fun vintage piece. I picked this up here in Biloxi at a thrift store, and it was a vintage Nike windbreaker jacket. Very cool. It sold for $100. I had paid $7 for it at the thrift store, and after $20 in fees and a shipping discount, I made $71.50 on this. I don't sell tons of sportswear, but when it's vintage, I'm definitely a sucker for vintage, so I pick it up. Another ModCloth dress. I actually bought this for myself, but I just wasn't going to wear it, so it was new with tags, and I had bought it liquidation for $13.62. It sold for $75, and after Poshmark took their fees, I made $46.38 on this dress. It was a pretty teal linen dress with little hearts embroidered on the bottom. And again, it was for me, so as long as I made my money back, I would have been happy, but making a profit's even better. Next up is another cabbie piece. Again, certain cabbie will still sell, but I'm super picky about what I'm getting. These were some cropped wide leg jeans. I got them because they were wide leg and they were, really trendy. They sold for $45, and I had thrifted them for $7.92. So after Poshmark fees of $9, I made $28.08 on those cabbie jeans. So I've only picked up this brand twice, but both times that they've sold for really good profit. They're called Hobbs London, and they are a UK brand. One time I bought a skirt from ThredUp and sold it for over $50. And this time I picked up a dress. I got this when I was coming back from Panama City Beach, and I stopped in Destin. It sold for $76. I had thrifted it for $9.20. And after fees and a shipping discount, I made $49.68. A lot of their pieces are very high quality. This was a silk dress, and it was in a plus size. Plus it had pockets. So your girl loves a dress with pockets, so I was not surprised to see it go for that much. Okay, last two sales up in February. The first was this Bowden polka dot dress. This was new with tags and came from that big haul that I got at a thrift store. So my cost of goods were $6.50, and it sold for $60. After fees and the new shipping discount of $1.72 on Poshmark, I made $39.78. And last sale is a brand I always recommend picking up. It is Eliza J. They are on my bread and butter video along with Bowden and ModCloth and some other brands. So if you haven't watched that video, check that out next when you're done with this one. This Eliza J dress sold for $45. It was a white lace dress. My cost of goods were $5.70 from a thrift store, and after Poshmark fees, I made $30.30 on this dress. So again, for February, my sales were still pretty decent considering the eBay changes and the Poshmark snafu. My average sale price was $54.62, which is right on par where I want it to be. So I'm very happy overall. Can't wait to share with you my March sales once this month is over. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel here on YouTube, I would love to have you stick around. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful for you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.